Marcus lived in the smallest apartment on the edge of the city, the kind of place where the walls were thin enough to hear the neighbors' arguments and the pipes groaned, every winter like they were suffering too. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please stay with us and watch this story till the end. If there is any mistake or shortcoming in our story, please kindly forgive us and support us with your love, patience, and encouragement. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories, and tell us in the comments where in the world you are watching from. Your support means everything to us. He worked 2 jobs, a morning shift at a grocery store and an evening shift, cleaning offices downtown, and in between, he picked up his 7-year-old daughter. Lily from school made her dinner, helped her with homework, and tucked her in with a story every single night. There was no one else. Lily's mother had walked out 3 years ago, and Marcus had quietly rebuilt their world with nothing but his own 2 hands and a love so deep it had no bottom. People in the neighborhood knew him as the quiet man who always held the door open, who shoveled the elderly woman's driveway without being asked, who smiled even when his eyes looked tired. He never complained. He never asked for anything. He simply gave what he had, even when what he had was almost nothing. 2 miles away, in a glass tower that reflected the clouds, lived Catherine Weston, CEO of one of the fastest-growing tech companies in the country. She was sharp, polished, and powerful, the kind of woman who walked into rooms and rearranged the energy in them. She had everything: money, influence, a penthouse apartment, and a son named Ethan who was her entire heart. But she also carried something she rarely admitted: a quiet contempt for people she considered beneath her. She had once seen Marcus at a charity gala where he had been working as a server, and when he accidentally brushed against her arm while pouring water, she had looked at him the way people look at an inconvenience, tutted under her breath and whispered to her colleague, "These people really should be more careful." Marcus had heard it. He had said nothing. He had simply refilled her glass and moved on. On a cold Tuesday evening in November, everything changed. Ethan collapsed at school. By the time Catherine reached the hospital, doctors were already running tests, their faces tight with urgency. Ethan had a rare blood condition that had flared dangerously. He needed an immediate transfusion, but his blood type, AB negative, was critically rare. The hospital supply was depleted. Doctors sent out an emergency request to every registered donor in the city. Catherine stood in the hallway with her hands pressed against her mouth, shaking. For the first time in years, her money meant nothing. Her title meant nothing. She could not fix this. She could not buy her way out of it. All she could do was pray that someone somewhere would come. Marcus was walking past the hospital on his way to his evening shift when he saw the emergency appeal flashing on the notice board outside. AB negative donor needed urgently. Pediatric emergency. He stopped. He checked the time. His shift started in 20 minutes. He stood there for exactly 4 seconds, then walked through the hospital doors. He sat in the donor chair, extended his arm, and gave what he had. He did not ask who the blood was for. He did not wait to be thanked. When it was done, he pulled on his jacket, told the nurse he hoped it helped, and walked back out into the cold night to go clean office floors until midnight. Ethan stabilized within the hour. The doctors told Catherine that the donor had arrived just in time. She wept right there in the corridor, her mascara running, her composure completely gone, reduced to just a mother who had almost lost her child. She asked the nurse who the donor was. The nurse hesitated, then showed her the name on the form. When Catherine saw the address, the same small street where she had once attended that gala, something shifted in her chest. She asked for more information. And then the hospital coordinator, who knew Marcus from the community, told her quietly, he works 2 jobs, raises his daughter alone, comes in to donate whenever he can. He's been on the registry for years. Catherine walked out of the hospital that night into the cold air and just stood there, breathing. She thought about the way she had looked at him that evening, like he was nothing, like his existence was a minor inconvenience in her important life. And here he was, the man she had dismissed without a second thought. The reason her son was alive. She found him 3 days later through the hospital coordinator. She knocked on his apartment door on a Saturday morning. When Marcus opened it, Lily was standing beside him in her pajamas, holding a stuffed rabbit. Catherine looked at this man, tired eyes, worn shoes, warm smile, and felt something crack open inside her that she hadn't known was closed. She said, "You saved my son's life." Marcus looked genuinely puzzled. He said, "I just donated blood." Anyone would have, but that was exactly it. Not anyone had. Thousands of people in that city were registered donors who hadn't come that night. This man, with nothing to spare, had given the one thing that mattered. Catherine helped Marcus get a better job through her company's foundation. She funded Lily's education. But more than that, she changed, quietly, genuinely, permanently. She stopped seeing people as their titles and their addresses. She started seeing them as Marcus had always seen the world, as human beings worthy of dignity, regardless of what they had or didn't have. Marcus never spoke about what he had done. He didn't think of himself as a hero. He was just a father trying to do right by the world his daughter would one day inherit. And Lily grew up knowing exactly what kind of man her father was, the kind who walks toward the need without asking what's in it for him, the kind who gives even when giving costs him something, the kind who changes lives without ever knowing he's doing it. Some people wear their goodness loudly. Marcus wore his quietly, in the small hours, in the cold hallways, in the simple act of rolling up his sleeve and saying, "Here, take what you need." That is the kind of human being this world is held together by. The unnoticed ones, the uncelebrated ones, the ones who show up anyway. If this story moved your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel Kindness True Stories, where we bring you real, emotional, and life-changing stories about the power of human kindness every week. Your support helps us keep sharing these stories with the world.